Welcome everybody to Skeptalk Live, episode number 45. That's a big number, Jana. We're way up
It's
there.
exciting.
Yeah. So joining me tonight is Shayna. Jason is at a lecture for college and stuff, and Wes traded today for Tuesday with the way that his work schedule is currently working. So it'll be just Shayna and I tackling some important information. How are you doing today, Shayna?
Oh, I'm doing good. It's been a long day. Want everybody to know I made it here in the last possible second, but we did it. We're not late. It's amazing.
Exactly. Everybody hear us out there all right? Because I should have all of the technical issues out of the way. You guys should be able to hear alerts and everything this time, so there shouldn't be any issue with that. Yeah, I'll let the chat catch up for a second. Also, the news today is not funny.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised, I guess, but
so we have a slightly extended stupid shit for sale today, and found a couple of other things that I added in.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but the news itself was that, like, there was just a bunch of trash. And change.org wasn't very funny today either, but I mean, you know, it's a grab bag there, so who knows. All right, well, let's take a look at the news. You heard that all right, Shanna?
Did indeed.
Excellent. That means that part's working too. All right. As always, this is a fair use talk show, and what we're doing here is law abiding in the way that it is criticism, parody, and news reporting. So when we show some news articles or possibly some video, it's because we are critiquing it and sharing the news with our viewers. So remember that when you go to hit that report button. Once again, I have this slide in here to remind me to put that there. So if anybody wants to help Skeptalk grow a little bit, go ahead and click that, and it'll pre-format a tweet for you, and you can just press the button, and it'll tweet, and other people will see what you're doing today, and possibly join us. So
I need to get on the Twitter thing. I have an account, and I don't use it.
Well, yeah, a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do, and if you have one, so.
It's the way to market anymore. So it's kind of interesting that a lot of people don't.
Well, especially with all the problems that Facebook has been having recently.
But what problems?
I
mean, I haven't really been.
Their involvement with the Politica company, the one that took all everybody's data, right?
Oh.
Yeah, they got hit pretty hard for that.
That whole where you could go and see what your like political alignment is in your settings?
No, that's a different thing, and that's hilarious. For those of you who don't know, you can go and check in your Facebook ad preferences, and they have chosen a political alignment for you. Gamer News Party, thank you very much for the sub.
I X'd mine because I didn't want it to, because it helps with how they advertise to you.
Yeah.
I'm not too happy what they had me as. Yeah,
they had me as slightly liberal.
I was very liberal.
Right. And I mean, like, I don't think that they know exactly what they're talking about.
No. Jason got liberal.
Right.
That shocked me. So that, it's broken. Because, I mean, he's definitely not liberal.
Jason's the most liberal guy I know. I'm just joking. All right. Well, our first story today is titled, I mean, yeah, but why? And this is a very fucked up individual. He's not wrong in his reasoning, but why would you do this? A Lancaster County man has been accused of exposing himself to Amish and Mennonite women, doing so because he knew that they lacked the ability to call quickly for help.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
My first thought was what a weirdo, but then the last part of what you said was like, that's fucked up.
Right. I mean, that's
if that's
sound
like
logic
the motivation
for a fucked up thing, right?
Yeah. Right.
Lancaster Online reports that Benjamin R. Graffius, 39, has been charged with exposing himself to numerous females, 4 felony counts of unlawful contact with a minor, and 8 misdemeanor counts of indecent exposure for incidents that began in June of 2015. So this guy has been doing terrible stuff to the Amish and the Mennonites for 3 years.
Fucking weirdo.
Yeah, exactly. Gamer News Party says, according to Facebook, I'm very liberal.
Billions of people on the planet, how people get their jollies off is going to vary tremendously, but
right.
Sometimes it's really head scratching.
Do you think this guy got like status as kind of like a boogeyman in that community? Like
that's worse than the boogeyman.
Exactly. It's
I'd
the
rather
dingle
deal
man.
with the
boogeyman. Apparently, his downfall came in September when he targeted an off-duty state trooper. So, an off-duty state trooper was running in the area, and he exposed himself to her, and then he was taken in. But apparently, this guy, pardon me, has $50K to pay the bail that he is now free on.
Well.
Yeah.
Fuck. Hopefully he gets convicted and has to actually be put behind bars.
Yep. This is always it's always so weird.
I
don't
like
understand.
A halfway house situation or something.
Right. I don't understand how bail works. Canada, welcome. I'm not sure how bail really works, because when we cover stories like man murders 16 people with a lawnmower, right? He's in jail on a $5,000 bond, right?
This gets out, you mean?
Yeah, well, either way, right? It's $5,000.
Right.
This guy was running around showing his dinkle to people who don't have cell phones. And he goes to jail and he gets to pay $50K, right?
It's based on what they think you're able to pay.
Right. I think they should probably base it on the crime.
I agree, but I think which there's some to some degree, I think it has to do with the crime, but also it is based like if you have more money, they're going to try to get more money out of you, because that's really what they're trying to do. If you have if you really think somebody committed the crime, you shouldn't be letting them go. But then, of course, there's the whole innocent until proven guilty thing, which is kind of a joke, really, at this point in the justice system anyways.
Oh, Gamer says that the bond is 10% of your bail.
Right.
Okay.
The bond is, but the actual his bail was set at $500,000 or 50 grand. 50 grand.
Yeah. Yeah. So then he only had to pay $5,000.
So yeah, when you hear somebody paid $5,000, that means that the actual bail was tremendously more. You're paying for that for a while.
Okay, that makes more sense. Then that you learn something every day. Are you ready to learn something, Shayna?
Sure, I've learned a lot today.
All right. Despite seeing it millions of times, pretty much in every picture book, every novel, every newspaper, every email, Johns Hopkins University researchers have found that people are essentially unaware of the most common version of the lowercase print G. Most people don't know that 2 types exist, and if they do, they can't write the one that you usually see. They can't even pick up it out of a lineup, right? So
what?
Out of these 4 G's, which one is the most common lowercase G in print?
Yeah, that is kind of hard. I think if they were positioned for in a line, it would be a little easier. It's funny that you're doing this because I've taken a lot of cognitive classes.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that are trying to get at like your comprehension, because interesting things happen in the brain with visual stimuli and the way that you present it and all that. But like I'm thinking it's the bottom left one.
Okay, we've got bottom left, bottom right, top right, top right. All right, what we've got so far.
It could be the bottom left as well.
All right. I'm gonna finish up the story here
bottom
a little
left,
bit and
I meant
let
the bottom right as well. I think it, yeah.
Right. I'll let chat catch up a little bit. Let them make more guesses too if they want to. The findings, which suggest the importance of writing plays in early letters or in learning letters, appears this week in the Journal of Experimental Psychology, Human Perception and Performance. We think that if we look at some, go ahead.
Class. I think we just talked about that in a class.
Oh, nice. We think that if we look at something enough, especially if we have to pay attention to its shape as we do during reading, then we would know what it looks like. But as a result, that's not always the case. Like all of these to me looked like G's. I gave up immediately. Was like, all of them are G's.
I had to really carefully look at the direction each of the like shapes were going in.
Right. So this is the correct one.
It's backwards.
And that is the top right. So Blaze Black and Canada got it right. But yeah, exactly. This is the correct G. They did a bunch of tests, found that almost nobody was able to do it. So
Chris, you say that now, and I'm like, well, it does look a little more familiar.
Right, exactly, because you've seen it a trillion times. Oh, geez, that's correct. Thank you, Gamer News Party. Yeah, so this is a very long study, and I will link it in the description of this VOD afterwards if anyone is interested in the letter G. But we aren't Sesame Street. On to Maury Povich. So when Kelly Roulette received the results from a DNA sample that she sent into the popular genealogy website, she assumed that there had been a mistake. The test showed that her DNA matched the sample from a doctor more than 500 miles away. And, though she had never heard of him, Ancestry.com predicted a parent-child relationship between the two. At the time, Roulette was not aware that more than 36 years ago, her parents had had a struggle to conceive. She did not know that her mother had undergone artificial insemination, nor did she, or her parents, know that the mother's fertility doctor had used his own sperm in order to get her mother pregnant.
Wow.
So you followed along with that one? Ancestry.com, yeah. You are not the father.
Wow.
The account
implications.
Right. These are that could be, there could like be so many
closed adoptions with what we're delving into understanding about our genetics.
Exactly.
Could, break that confidentiality seal pretty easily.
Right, exactly. The account comes from a lawsuit filed last week in U.S. District Court in Idaho. In it, Rowlett accused Gerald E. Mortimer, his last name is Mortimer, he's likely evil, is a now retired
right?
Exactly, obstetrician, gynecologist of Idaho Falls. Was accused of fraud and medical negligence, among other things, and Mortimer could not be immediately reached for comment, and it's not clear whether he has an attorney. But there's already DNA evidence on the book. So it could be a pretty open and shut case. What would you do if you found out that your dad was not your dad and it wasn't his fault or your mom's fault? Morris Minor, welcome to the show.
I would be shocked, but
yeah.
One of the first classes that I ever took in college, we were tasked with trying to, even though we couldn't, that was the point of the task, scientifically prove that our parents were our parents.
Okay.
And all of the evidence that I could find, because I wrote it in my little report, lacking an actual genetic DNA test.
Mm-hmm.
There was a whole lot of like pretty obvious data that said my dad is my dad and my mom is my mom, so I would be very suspect. Be like, what's happening here? Because I'm pretty sure.
Right.
Do they have like are they more affluent? Are they willing to help pay for my college? Great. That's maybe the only time it would be really rad. I don't know.
Right.
I don't trust it.
Exactly. Morris, they do not go into anything currently. The doctor has not been able to be reached for interview. He's wrapped up in the legal proceedings, but I bet that there's going to be an investigation. Morris says he could have thousands of kids, and I was just thinking the same thing. And in the grand scheme of like humanity and their wanting to spread your genes, this is an underhanded tactic, but he totally succeeded at evolution type shit, right? Right, on a Darwinian
Probably
level.
More efficiently than most of us in an interesting way.
Right. I mean, like I said, it is underhanded and not very good. Angry Cicadas points out that there is an episode of Special Victims Unit just like this. Yeah.
Probably.
All right. Next, we have a story about Silent Like Ninja. A man who hid in his ex-girlfriend's attic and then fell through the ceiling is now back in jail after walking away from a hospital and allegedly breaking into another house to steal clothing. So this
is now back in jail.
Yeah. So he never actually quite made it to jail the first time. So Tyler Burkamp Tyler Burkamp's 23-year-old ex-girlfriend called Salina police around 9:30 on March 29th and said that she feared Burkamp, 25, was hiding somewhere inside her home, according to the Journal. When officers searched the house, they came up empty, and it wasn't until 11:30 at night, the same evening, when the ex-girlfriend and her new boyfriend heard a loud noise, and then heard shouting in the living room. It was there that they found a man's legs dangling from the ceiling. So he was in the house. The cops just didn't find him the first time.
That's fucking creepy.
Exactly. So he had a large knife and a sheath. And when he got into a fight with the woman's new boyfriend, threatening to kill the man. Burkamp was then arrested and charged with stalking, criminal damage of property, aggravated burglary, and possession of methamphetamines. This is not a Florida story, so you'll have to wait for meth later.
God damn it.
But it appears he wasn't done committing crimes. He was taken to the hospital to be treated for injuries he received while falling through the ceiling. Ice Kitsune 777, welcome to the stream. He had been receiving treatment for the injuries, and then he just walked out of the hospital. Right? Just apparently nobody decided to watch him. So police searched the area all morning but couldn't find him. And at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon the next day, a woman reported to police that she found a hospital gown on her bed in her home, and some of her clothing had been disturbed, according to the Salina Journal. About 5:40 p.m. the same day, police responded to a medical emergency involving Burkamp. He was taken to the hospital again and then later booked into jail. It is not known what the medical emergency was, so it's very possible. We have not passed the vampire yet. But then it's very likely he like broke his stitches open or something, right? And then he was just like, well, this isn't worth it. Time to go back to jail. They'll fix me again. But yeah. So he finally made it to jail after escaping. He escaped the police like twice in a row. Once when they were searching for him, and once when he was in the hospital.
He's not even a smart person. That makes me really question the police.
Exactly.
What the fuck is happening?
Yeah. It sounds like I don't remember wherever Salina is. They need to get their shit together. All right. Our next story is about we did pass the Amish. So there was a guy who was exposing himself to Amish people and Mennonites because they don't have cell phones and can't call the cops. But okay, So, two Pennsylvania lawmakers have a say in the education budget veered from the science book recently when they were talking about earth science. Earlier this month, Representative Scott Perry of Dillsburg told a hall full of 4th Congressional District constituents that trees are at least partly to blame for pollution in Chesapeake Bay. So that's the first, and in my opinion, lesser breach of science that this story is covering.
Wait, he said that the trees were at fault?
For pollution in the Chesapeake Bay.
Oh my God, and he's a teacher.
No, he's an elected official.
Oh.
Who has access to do stuff with the education budget. So, but earlier this week, Senator Scott Wagner, who intends to run for governor, told a room of natural gas drilling advocates that climate change, global warming, is caused by body heat, and that the Earth's apparent slow death spiral into the sun.
That's hysterical. That's like 2-year-old logic.
Right. Joe Rao, an associate.
I mean, there's some logic in it, but it's completely wrong.
Right, exactly. The body heat is what's causing us to have global warming, right? Joe Rao, an associate and lecturer in the Hayden Planetarium in New York, called Wagner's comment total utter nonsense, adding that if he had a copy of Wagner's speech, it would be shredded for cat litter. This statement is just a statement of stupidity, Rao had said. The Hayden Planetarium is perhaps best known for its director, Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysics host of the TV series Cosmos. Wagner had told his audience, "I haven't been in science class for a long time, but the Earth moves closer to the sun every year. You know, the rotation of the Earth. We're moving closer to the sun." He's also said, "We have more people, you know. Humans have warm bodies. So is heat coming off? Things are changing, but I think they are. As a society, we are doing the best that we can." Sorry.
Wow.
Human body heat.
It reminds me of like, what was it in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that's having like the really quick thought pattern, like, I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm a, like, is it like, that's what that reminds me of.
Just say some dumb stuff that comes to the top of your head. Willis Wonder says, "Law of conservation of energy, dumb motherfuckers." Angry Cicada says, "I hate this man." All right.
He's a politician. Where?
Let me find out. It is Pennsylvania.
I guess it's not surprising.
Rip Pennsylvania.
Right.
All right. Our next story is an update to a story we covered on episode 41, where we were talking about the trains full of New York crap that were being shipped to Alabama.
I missed this.
Okay. So in Alabama, there is basically a waste dump ground, right? So this group who owns it had been selling their space to New York to hold 18%, I believe was the number, of New York and New Jersey's sewer waste that they were having trouble getting rid of, right?
God.
So it smelled terrible and was doing awful things to the area around there. So the Alabama government shut it down, right?
Right.
There's a new update to the story, and the problem is dozens of train cars carrying 10 million pounds of New York City sewer waste are currently stranded in a rural Alabama train yard.
Oh my God.
It's
hot in Alabama.
And the weather is moving from winter to spring into summer.
No. Oh, that sounds like hell.
The 982 residents of the small town of Parrish are not happy because that is right in the middle of their town.
Wow.
To add insult to injury, it isn't even their poop. For the last year, the waste management facilities in New York have been shipping them here. So they hadn't been distributed to the Alabama yard yet. But now
I'm
they are.
guessing it's not a topic most people spend any time thinking about.
Yeah.
What happens to all the waste that
Wait,
just
why
gets
don't they move
flushed
all
down
of the
toilet?
sewer stuff to Detroit?
Especially
Right?
in very large metropolitan areas
Well, yeah.
that can't hold it all.
I'm not sure anyone's going to take this because New York has already paid to have it disposed of, right? And the moment they loaded it onto this train, they were hands off, right? They're like, yep, we're done. And then Alabama's like, nope, can't put it here because reasons, right? And so now
many of them.
There are dozens of train cars full of poop in limbo. The chat says take it to Mississippi. It's a shithole there anyway. Or give it to California. It's a dump. Ice Kitsune, sorry I missed that one. This was about the last story. It said, oh shit, your balls are killing the ozone. Quick, cut yours off.
Go place it in tornado areas where people don't want to live. That'd be real entertaining.
Tornado hits it. Just terrible.
Just to see what would happen. Also, nobody wants to live there. People aren't willing to live there.
Gamer News Party says, plot twist they keep sending. It is very possible that New York is just ignored Alabama and is all like, well, we've got this contract and it's good for the next 6 months. Keep shipping it, right? We're just going to have to nuke the small town of Parrish eventually. Right? Exactly. Ice Kitsune says a literal shitstorm. Yeah. And shitnado. Just make industrial shit water extraction bags. Yeah! The poop bags. They can evaporate all this stuff. All right.
Take the raw water from it.
Someone call Blade. Here's our vampire story. So, Stan Lee's former business associate is like a vampire. He literally sucked the blood out of Stan's body. Well, not exactly literally, but very close. So here is what the story that's being told is right now. A businessman who was working with Stan went to Stan's personal nurse in October with a forged document giving him an authority to order a blood sample from the Marvel Maven, right? Sources claim that he told the nurse to fill several vials and she obliged. We're also told that she took so much Stan had become dizzy, right? No one from Stan's camp had a clue that the samples were taken, but they're told that his friend and partner Kea Morgan recently discovered the possible foul play. We're told that Stan's people believe his former business associate has commissioned commemorative pens, like click click write stuff down pen, right? Linked to Stan and Marvel, and they have an ink substitute. Stan's blood.
That's really
This is the creepiest
bizarre.
thing. Stan's people believe that the business associate planned to sell the pens for a fortune and that they want to stop it stat, right?
I feel like there might be some, like, ethical isn't quite the right word, but implications to this happening. What the fuck?
Right, exactly. So Stan's team has hired an attorney to get the bottom of the alleged plasma plot, and not only to file a lawsuit, but a police report as well.
He's not even like okay with this.
No, not at all.
What the fucking shit?
Exactly.
That's not okay. There's definitely something ethically wrong with this.
Right, exactly. A, B positive, right?
Oh my god.
Ramo says that's fucking rad, creepy, but fucking rad. I mean, you could sell collectors like Stan Lee blood pens for tens of thousands of dollars a piece, right? Like, it's just you could find the right people, especially high value comic book collectors, right? It's also believed that the former business associate has pilfered over $300,000 from the comic legend. They also believe that he bought a condo with Stan's money. So this guy's a piece of shit and a vampire.
I don't think he's gonna do very well. People like Stan Lee. Am I
right.
wrong?
No, they do. Right.
He's not gonna go very far with this bullshit. Nice try. Enjoy it while it lasts, asshole.
In cases like this, you gotta be positive, right? I want to get so famous, people want to make Ramo blood pens, right? Yeah. Pilfer is a nice way of saying steal. Yeah.
It's more than steal. I don't, there's like, seriously, there's a lot. I don't, it's not just a lock of hair. It's like somebody's, your DNA is in your blood.
Right, exactly. I can imagine just in Stan's voice, well, heroes, it's my blood. Just all right. NBD, mate. The Sunshine Coast Daily has reported that a Queensland Police Service spokesman said that police allegedly watched a fight between two men that started at Birwa Hotel and moved out onto the road on Turner Street, at where they saw a 20-year-old Birwa man allegedly stab a Caboolture man. The QPS, I apologize if we have any Australians watching that and I just slaughtered a bunch of words, right? But I tried. The QPS spokesman said that the two men were initially kicked out of the pub for fighting. It's alleged that when the fight moved elsewhere, the 20-year-old stabbed a knife in the back of the older man. However, the victim then returned to the pub and kept drinking, with the knife still sticking in his back.
Well played, sir.
Right.
I think I'd want a shot if I was still conscious and somebody just literally stabbed me in the back.
Exactly. The QPS spokesman said the two men were known to each other and one man was currently assisting police with their inquiries. She also said a substantial amount of alcohol was involved and no charges have been laid. So apparently the knife literally in the guy's back is just no big deal at all. Australians being Australian. Let's see. Oi, mate, Australia's fake, right? I mean, we covered that before. I'm the only one who'd be willing to... am I the only one who'd be willing to make blood pens to sign shit with? Yes. I would totally make a blood pen for my blood. If I wasn't concerned it was going to coagulate and rot, and then I'd be carrying around a pen that smelled like death. Ice Kitsune says that guy deserves a drink. Also, maybe a chiropractor, right? Oh, are you ready to be scared? Having trouble, something to have trouble to sleep with tonight? This story is called Damn It, Science. A neural network named Norman is disturbingly different from other types of artificial intelligence. Housed in an MIT Media Lab, a research laboratory that investigates...
Hi, Twisty!
Twisty, how's it going? Housed at an MIT Media Lab, a research laboratory that investigates AI and machine learning, Norman's computer brain has allegedly been warped by exposure to the darkest corners of Reddit during its early training.
Uh-oh.
Leaving the AI with chronic hallucinatory disorders. According to the description published, although it was on April Fool's on the project's website, this article is listed on there right now as not being a joke, right? Afterwards, right?
This should say, damn it, scientists or researchers.
Right. Science, what have you done?
It's not science's fault. We humans do ridiculous things with it, like give the worst possible aspect of the internet, or at least the most like chaotic ADD aspect, and feed it into something we want to be sentient. Does that sound like a good idea to anybody?
Exactly. If it turns out that this is an April Fool's joke, I apologize, but my research shows that it was just published then, and it isn't anything to do with it. MIT Media Lab representatives described the presence of something fundamentally evil in Norman's architecture that makes his retraining impossible. So they would have to wipe it, right? They can't really just train him from doing what he was doing. But that part may be a joke. Adding that not even exposure to like cute like the things that they do like to identify bunnies and rabbits and stuff, right? That stuff isn't working. He's the story that they have on their website is outlandishly clearly a prank. The part where they talk about it being evil and stuff, right? But Norman itself is real. The AI has learned to respond with violent, gruesome scenarios whenever presented with ink blots. So it has the ability to look at ink blots and give you a terrible answer.
That's frightening.
Yeah. In dubbing Norman a psychopath AI, its creators are playing with fast and loose with the clinical definition of the psychiatric condition, which describes combinations of traits that can include a lack of empathy or guilt. But still, they have trained a neural network to think about shit that is terrible.
Does it suggest did they did that on purpose?
Yes.
So my interpretation is it's probably just because they're trying to understand it better, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Right. But that means that this exists.
Instead of just putting a label on something and giving a person a pill and hoping that it gets better, maybe like understanding why it's happening and fixing it from,
right.
Stopping it or, like that.
The only thing I can imagine, here's how I imagine this being bad, right? So you've got Norman sitting, well secured, never gets out, he's good to go, right? But then
yeah, you said a neural network. That doesn't mean it's an actual physical being that can move.
Right. But what if we do create one, right? We create a different one, and it has the ability to learn from neural networks. And it finds Norman.
That'd be really scary.
Right, exactly. The chat is saying they are definitely saying Reddit to save face. It's definitely B. Angry Cicada says it's always B. Yeah, this is the 4chan robot. Gamer News says kind of impressive. One step closer to Skynet, right? Willis Wonder asked if we could make this an AW NPC. We'll talk about that at AW. When the MIT Media Laboratory representatives tested other neural networks with Rorschach ink blots, the descriptions were banal and benign, like an airplane flying through the air with smoke coming from it, or a black and white photo of a small bird, according to the website. However, Norman's responses are things like a man is shot and dumped from a car, or man gets pulled through dough machine.
Jesus fuck.
So there is this robot, or this AI now, right?
It's like Stephen King's mind.
Exactly. All right, everybody.
I read
go ahead.
Interview. I read an interview or something about him a long time ago where he talked about he had a necessity to write the books that he wrote because he had really fucked up thoughts, and that was the best way he could find to get it out without actually doing terrible things. He's like quoted as saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, fair enough, right?
Right.
Okay, so this is our fireside chat segment. As you notice, we're done with the news a little early. Usually it takes us about another 20-25 minutes, but the news was pretty sparse today. So I got some questions for you, Shayna, and the chat.
All right.
Apparently, wait. Oh, crap. They didn't save. No. Okay. I will get those here pretty soon. We'll come back to this segment, right? I'm gonna fix those while we're talking. All right. So we're gonna move on to today and cool. So there had to be one problem, right? Just one problem. Or I could just make some up, right? That's true. I've got a list of questions here. Let's do it. Just do it. Do. Okay. So, let's do. If you were to be given a PhD, but had no actual knowledge of the subject of the degree besides what you have now, right? You don't have what you currently know, right? And what PhD would they give to you, right? What do you think you could earn a PhD in and come off as though you knew it?
That's a good question. Close to getting there with psychology, but you'd have to give me a little bit longer cognition.
Do you think you could fake it?
If there was something like, yes, I think I could.
Okay.
If I had like time to practice before every interaction with anybody. Like, if I had time to do a bunch of studying really fast or something, if I wasn't just put on the spot immediately, I think I could fake it. Yes.
Excellent.
What are you typing right now?
I'm actually writing, what PhD do you think you could fake? Faking a PhD sounds like a great drinking game. Yeah. It definitely does.
Philosophy. Actually change it to philosophy. They would believe that.
You can change it to basket weaving. I don't give a shit, right? Like, I'm not your dad.
Funny thing is they give you a doctorate of philosophy when you've just gone to school for like 100 things, and they don't. It's hard to pinpoint your specialty.
Right.
That's what a doctorate of philosophy is. It's probably that, actually, more realistically.
Morse Minor says PhD in smoking weed.
Oh yeah, and Twisty, PhD in philosophy. Yep.
Right. I think I could.
A lot of things.
I could fake a PhD in quite a few things. But I mean, I guess Wikipediaology would probably be like my.
That's not a PhD.
You can get a PhD in anything. There's doctorate programs like create your own. There's a guy who got a doctorate in D&D.
Right.
Yeah. Witless Wonder says unarmed self-defense or improvisational weapons. Excellent. Anxiety and accidentally screaming like a girl. PhD in how to Google, right? Okay. Our next question is going to be, if magic was real, what spell would you try to learn first? My lighting has drastically changed because my dog has decided to lay on my light.
Snap my fingers and food is made, or the house is clean, or wiggle my nose, or whatever incantation.
So some like I dream of Genie style shit. You're just like
or Bewitched. I want to be Samantha Stevens.
Twisty Top Hatter says levitation. Angry Cicada says teleportation. Abracadabra or Abracadabra. I don't know what that is. Avada Kedavra. Well, I'm sorry.
Harry Potter. I don't think that's quite.
I've seen one
Avada
movie,
Kedavra. And
it was like the 6th movie, part 2. And all I know about Harry Potter is that redheads die, and Dobby is a really cool character, right? Like
I've read them all several times. I've seen all the movie number of times. Yeah. It's like it's the death. You kill somebody with a word.
I went with a couple mutual friends of ours, Shayna. I went with Sean and Mikey, right? And they had or it was Mikey and somebody else, and they had all seen all of them or whatever, and I had not. So I was asking questions that pissed them off.
Oh, yeah, you were that guy.
I wasn't doing it during the show, but afterwards I'm like, why does that guy suck? And they're all like, that's the greatest character. And I'm like, that dude Beach Bop, welcome to the stream, says immortality. I mean, that's a pretty good spell. Witless Wonder says Logic says basic telekinesis type shit, but the spell I really want is either teleportation or mind manipulation. I'm thinking invisibility, yo.
You also said first.
Right.
Not like it's it's the one you can learn. So
okay, yeah.
Because I would, I'd probably do all of those as well.
Yeah.
Except for maybe I don't need to kill anybody.
Gamer News Party says, why didn't Harry carry a fair 45? It's because you have to be 18. Duh. I'm never mentioning Harry Potter on this stream again. That was painful. All right, let me see. The one that lets me manipulate probability, right? Chance changing spell or whatever. Last question of our fireside chat here. Let's do, if animals could talk, which animal would be the most annoying?
Probably a dog or a bird.
A dog or a bird? Is there a specific breed of dog that would be more annoying than others?
The yappy ones.
I feel that they would be the sassy ones. So Willis Wonder says, my cat troubles. He never shuts up anyway. Gamer News Party says ants. Angry Cicada says squirrels. Beach Pop, sorry, says hummingbird. Ramos says dogs. Dogs would be pretty annoying because then they could just say all the things that they're thinking. Like,
which would just be like a lot of repetitive things.
Let's play with the ball. Hey, can we play with the ball? It's ball time.
Ball, food, ball.
Beach Pop,
food,
welcome
squirrel,
to the Illuminati.
Ball, food, ball, squirrel.
Taking over the world one follow at a time. Enjoy that. Thanks for that follow there. Food. Yeah. But no, I think that one Pixar movie had it right, and I'm gonna say seagulls, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're probably bullshit, dude. Morris Miner says fish. We got 5. Who are you? What is this? What am I doing? Who is this? What is that? All right. Okay, moving on past the fireside chat. Twisty Topsider said, that's what I said. Oh, seagulls. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so today in Cool. Do you see what I have a picture here?
What I think it is.
Life is rolling a little easier for Caramel the squirrel these days, despite getting both of its front limbs removed by a trap. Their paws were surgically removed after the tragedy, which happened near Batman, Turkey, according to the Turkish newspaper, the Daily Sabah. Although squirrels without their limbs have a slim chance of survival in the world, Caramel, and it's spelled with a K, so I'm not saying caramel wrong or anything like that. It's Caramel, Karamel. He's getting a hand from a group of animal-loving scientists in Istanbul. Orthopediologists at this university built Caramel a set of prosthetic wheels to replace its missing front paws, right? Fantastic.
Do you know what's
right?
cool? I want to point something out. These are the same kinds of scientists that do research on animals. People freak out about it. They actually, like, everything I've learned about, well, at least pretty much all of it. I don't know about cosmetics, but in actual, like, medical research, there is ethical things to consider with animals as well.
Right.
And all of everybody I've ever experienced that works on animals, they love the animals more than the average person would love the animal that they're working with. So it's not as bad as people think. These are the same kinds of people who are doing this kind of shit.
Right. So although it's believed that Caramel is the first squirrel to be given prosthetics, as this article reported, I found that about 6 years ago, there was another squirrel whose back legs were destroyed, and they gave him wheels, and that's adorable as well. So, but still, Caramel the squirrel has got front wheels now, and if you look up Caramel the squirrel on YouTube, you can see a bunch of videos from agencies that will totally copyright flag this video if I were to show it. So I recommend you go look at it because it is adorable. Twisty Hot Top Hatter says, my heart is melting. Gamer News Party says, trying to catch me riding dirty, right? Witless Wonder says, is it good or bad luck if the squirrel loses only its front 2 legs in a bear trap? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sucks that it happened, but it could have been worse. Gamer News Party says that that's really cute. That's amazing. You guys have a dog with wheels in the neighborhood?
Yeah, I forget what kind of a dog. It's a littler dog, but he's got his back legs don't work, so she walks her dog. He's got a little wheel thingy. Yeah, it's pretty fucking cute.
Awesome. All right, guys. That was the only cute story I found for today, but it was cute enough, I think, for the whole segment. So, are you guys ready to play bingo?
My favorite segment.
Okay. Somebody said that we should play Florida Man Bingo one time. I can't remember who it was, and then I found it, and this is the best part of Florida Man now, by far. So if you want to play Florida Man Bingo, there's the link to Bingo Baker. It should just let you get a thing, and you can click on things. Witless Wonder says this is my favorite. Yeah, first favorite. All right, William Dwayne Washington was being questioned about grand theft. He ended up behind bars for a very different reason. According to the Marion County Sheriff's Office, Deputy Alberto Gago, I'm going to mess this one up real good, Chukwilwanchkwi, a.k.a. Deputy Gago, was speaking with Washington on Sunday in reference to grand theft investigations. In the course of the conversation, Gago asked Washington if there was anything in his pockets, and then asked the suspect to empty them, according to a report. After Washington complied, a small, clear baggie filled with a brown substance fell out of his pocket. Washington immediately stepped on it in an attempt to hide it, read the report. Gago asked what was in the baggie, and the 44-year-old answered that it contained his daily vitamins. A field test of the subject revealed that the substance had nothing to do with any health-related product. According to the report, it was raw heroin. The man was arrested when charged with the possession of heroin, transported to the Marion County Jail. The cops tweeted out, "We're pretty sure your daily recommended dose of heroin is 0." He's being held on a $2,000 bond. So that would mean roughly a $20,000 bail, right? Roughly.
Right.
Yeah. A Safety Harbor man was arrested Wednesday night after police say he tried to kidnap a 76-year-old woman in the parking lot of a craft store.
This, I think, could be considered unusual.
Yeah, loot. There's your unusual loot.
God damn it. Right? I don't even know where the story is going.
The unidentified woman was able to avoid the kidnapping by screaming and falling to the ground. Douglas Hoover, 37, walked up to the woman in the parking lot of the Hobby Lobby in Clearwater. Hoover told the woman, "Get in the car, I have a gun." But the woman refused, and after Hoover threatened her again, she screamed and fell to the ground. Hoover ran away, and the woman was from the woman, but was chased by witnesses who eventually lost track of him, the police said. Police arrived at the scene and used a dog to track Hoover to an apartment complex less than half a mile from the store. He was arrested, and he faces charges of attempted kidnapping.
Is there any mention of his motivation behind trying to kidnap an old lady?
Not at all. Not one bit.
All right.
I'm gonna hold you for your pension. You collect old ladies and collect their pension checks. It's perfect. Which drugs are involved? In that one, there wasn't any drugs listed, but I'm sure there were. Osceola County, a murder suspect is accused of being beating a man so violently with a vacuum cleaner that he severed the victim's head, leaving him beaten beyond recognition, according to the Kissimmee Police Department.
Wow.
So there's a unusual weapon or something like that if you need that, right? Killed a man with a vacuum cleaner.
I'm gonna say body horror too.
Tilemaker, welcome to the Illuminati. Thank you for the follow. Taking over the world one follow at a time. Back to the story. Okay. Police said that they called Dunnigan Avenue in Kissimmee on March 14th after a man was found dead near a dumpster in Cheo Auto Repair. Ramos says they make Dysons real solid these days. The man found dead in Kissimmee with a homicide investigation underway. The victim's blood, brain matter, and bone fragments were sprayed across the area onto nearby vehicles, according to the report. As soon as I saw the victim, I was immediately taken back by the amount of violence that had gone into this murder, the detective who wrote in the arrest affidavit. Police said a dirt devil vacuum cleaner and a wooden plank appeared to be the murder weapons based on the evidence. The vacuum apparently was beaten so hard, the vacuum was apparently beaten so hard into the victim, the vacuum broke into numerous pieces and was spread across the area. Surveillance videos from a nearby business showed the victim near the dumpster when a man, later identified as 44-year-old Angel Luis O'Mara Rivera, approached and began attacking him. After he used the vacuum cleaner, he then found the board, and then his fists, and then his feet. So this guy went just buck wild on this guy, but killed a man with a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he feels bad about it at all.
O'Mara Rivera did not act surprised or remorseful when he was arrested, or ask any questions when the police told him that he had hurt someone, according to the affidavit. Police said that they told O'Mara Rivera that he had murdered someone. Angel looked at me. He smiled and laughed at this. He did not appear shocked, remorseful, or concerned with any of this information. Instead, he seemed amused by it, wrote the detective. Yeah, you were right on it. He does not look remorseful at all. The victim has been...
No, he looks terrifying.
Right, exactly.
I would not want to get on his bad side.
Yeah, exactly. This guy looks like a tough cookie. He'll beat
Without
you to death with a vacuum cleaner, right? The victim was identified using his fingerprints, but the name has not been released for privacy concerns. Let's see. Body horror. Yeah, that one, that's perfect, right? Almost missed that. It's a 13-year-old pug. Oh, okay, yeah, the pug has a wheel.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, its back legs don't work. So
Squabbly says maybe the guy deserved it. I mean, that is possible, right? It is possible that the guy who died is a piece of shit, but we don't know. So, Dragon Daughter says, so cute. The dog, not the guy. I was going to make a joke about it, but then you actually clarified appropriately. And then Squabbly, he's on full troll already. All right. For anyone who's ever had a boring substitute teacher, this blotter item's for you. A school resource officer for a middle school was asked for help by an administrator recently after several students reported inappropriate behavior by a substitute teacher. The deputy investigated and a pretty consistent series of events were described by different students. For instance, she was telling the kids that she smokes weed and that she will have a party at her house so that they could all smoke weed together. The deputy wrote, the students stated that she told them that she would order pizza and they could bring their swimsuits to swim. Some said that she gave her phone number out to a few students on sticky notes. The students also reported that she told a sexually explicit joke and allowed a student to play vulgar rap music on the classroom speaker. They further reported that she danced to the music and unbuttoned her pants, but not showing any skin or anything else, stating, I take dollars in my waistband. And some students reported that she have had her as a substitute before, but never had this kind of behavior displayed. There's another little piece to this story. I'm going to leave a piece of information out for just a second while we catch up in chat here. Twisted Top Hatter is saying that Squab would find them both cute. Angry Cicada is talking about the pug with wheels. Squabby says I'm going to assume he did so I can sleep well. Ramos says you got to do some awful shit to deserve to be decapitated by a vacuum, correct? Coco Mojo, welcome to the stream. The stream. Definitely saw you in the chat yesterday. Gamer News Party says pedo. I mean, it could have been. Who knows? Squabbly says what a bunch of squares. Witless Wonder says child abuse. Sounds like she's drunk off her ass. You're welcome to the scream, right? Here is the. Okay, go ahead.
My first question is, how old is she? How long has she been teaching? My second question is, if she's not exhibited that kind of behavior before, did she hit her head?
Well,
it occurs to me the more I learn about, so when you're learning about psychology, brain science specifically,
right?
A lot of what we know is based on brain lesions and brain disorders. And it occurs to me, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, how often we hear really weird things. It's like, oh, so-and-so, Sally was never capable of doing that before. Did they hit their head? Is there some brain damage that's causing this behavior? It's maybe they're not just a pedophile and a bad person. Maybe like they have brain damage now. Maybe not, but
there's the comment I was waiting for. Squabbly says, I bet she's hot as fuck. And most of the news stories where a teacher has been highly inappropriate recently has been a attractive female. The deputy was unable to find a phone number for the substitute teacher, but described her as a white female, and her approximate age is 62 to 63 years old.
What the fuck?
Yeah, gross. Shit. Gross, Grandma. Put your pants back on. She was taken off the substitute teacher eligibility list.
Or maybe she's like losing her brain.
Right, old. Exactly. She's got dementia. She's backtracked to a stripper, right?
Goodness gracious.
Blade Black Sheep says she for sure fell at this point. Remo says yes. The kids kept the number, right? Grandma be stripping, says Coco. Angry Cicada says I bet she was a gilf. Ramo would party with that grandma. Could that classroom count as a strip club? Yeah, possibly, right? We got one more Florida man story to help you fill out your bingo cards. A man died Tuesday morning after swallowing 7 grams of cocaine during a traffic stop, according to the Santa Rosa Sheriff's Office. On Monday night, an unidentified man was stopped for a traffic incident. He was arrested and charged with suspended license and possession of a controlled substance. Before he was taken into custody, deputies say they saw him swallow a small object. He was checked by the sheriff's office medical team and placed in close watch cell for observation. Tuesday at 5:45, he admitted to swallowing 7 grams of cocaine because shit was about to get real important right now. He was pronounced dead at the hospital. He did not make it very far.
No shit.
Exactly. Blaze Black Sheep says, God damn, what a way to go out. Squab says, what a waste of drugs. Witless Wonder says, please tell me he peed on a cop. Nope, he did not pee on a cop, unfortunately. He just swallowed the drugs and then did not make it through the night. All right, moving into a facepalm story. And I got asked this in a private message. I wanted to address the stream with this. Facepalm stories are not about how religion is dumb. It's about how some people do dumb stuff for religious reasons. And this one is no different. Coco Mojo, do you ever let people come on the show? I mean, hit me up. We can talk about it. This story I'm calling You Son of a Bitch. And I forgot to put the logo in the corner, but this is an interaction news story, and the only one I've got for tonight. All right, Shayna. Your son has slept in, and Easter service is soon. What, according to this story, should you do to wake the boy up? Is it 1, time for the ice bucket challenge? 2, do you spark up the taser? 3, fire wakes people up fast. 4, you could show his girlfriend pictures of his dinkle. 5, you kick him out of his house for his disrespect. Or 6, an AR-16 or 15 solves problems.
I'm gonna guess 3 or 6.
Okay, 3 or 6, fire or AR-15s. We've got Twisty Top Hatter saying 3. Tile Maker, welcome to the stream, says taser. 4 says 4 for sure. Ramo says want it to be 6, but it's probably 2. Gamer News Party says 2 or 4. Angry Cicada 2. All right, let's take a look. I have the video.
Teenagers can be pretty lazy. You know, they just want to kind of hang out with their friends.
These guys are so nonchalant about this story.
Law for the tactics she used to get her son to get up and go to church.
So, we haven't covered it yet, but I want you to remember how happy-go-lucky those 2 people were.
Said, get up, it's Jesus Day. I don't think I did anything wrong because you're supposed to put God first. And that's all I was trying to tell my kids, put God first. He was like, Mom, I'm calling the police. I say you can call police, UPS, DPS, whoever you want to call.
Okay, so why did the son call police? That's because apparently, according to police, Mom tased him.
Just tased him.
Leslie Lopez with it. What? It all started on Easter Sunday when her son refused to wake up and go to church, so she got out her touch taser, and she says she made it spark in front of him only as a threat, but police say otherwise. The teenager wasn't injured, but he did have 2 small bumps on his leg.
I feel like in some places that news story would have played out very differently.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she wouldn't be sitting there.
Like maybe some child abuse, but they're like laughing about it. Like,
yeah, it's assault, right? Right? Like,
yeah, kind of.
She wouldn't be sitting in front of her house just talking to the news nonchalant, right?
Jesus Day.
Yeah, exactly. That is the best part of this video. Let's do that part again.
Teenagers can be pretty lazy.
Go to church.
I said, get up, it's Jesus Day. I don't think I did anything wrong.
I don't think I did anything wrong.
I just
of course you didn't.
I just tased
You're
him.
the kind of person that tased your fucking child.
All right. So we're going to move into stupid shit for sale that I found today.
If you overdo that can lead to some neurological damage.
Right.
People didn't know that.
April Fool, motherfucker.
Yeah, in all caps. Yeah.
Squabbly says, in my opinion, you should be able to tase your kids within reason. Tilemaker says it's not that different from what the Bible says. It says to take belligerent children out to the street and stone them. Yeah, I mean, very true. The crazy stuff. Gamer News Party says, what's wrong with the flip-flop? Coco Mojo asked what we cover on the show. So for the first part of the show, we show news, right? Current news stories, things that are coming out that are of a comedic or kind of like safely in the Twitch TOS shocking, right? But then at the end, I've got a little bit of conspiracy theory that I am going to display for everyone today. So it's a fun one too. Witless Wonder says if we can get shock collars for dogs, we can get training tasers for kids. Reason little bastard won't wake up for church. Bzz. Right. All right. So here, and this is a segment of the show that I show off some real dumb stuff that I found that you can buy today on the internet.
I also love this segment. This is probably my second favorite.
So you can't get this yet because it is a Amazon Launchpad product. So if enough people add this to their list, it becomes a thing that you that you could buy. But this is wild camel hump fat superfood.
Why? What?
Here it is. Desert
Why?
Farms superfoods from the desert, hump fat from a wild camel, made from the humps of wild camels. dietary animal fat.
What? Aren't the natural people also the same kind of people that have a problem with killing animals senselessly?
Yeah, probably, but I mean capitalism. Right.
That doesn't mean I can't criticize them.
It has nutrition facts. So you're supposed to eat this.
It's like mayo. Yeah. I'm grossed out.
Exactly. Tilemaker says that's so oddly specific. It is. It's absolutely super specific.
It's got one customer review at 1 star. Not going well so far.
Coco, if you tune in during the week when I'm not super busy, I often do a morning show where it's much more freeform, and we can talk about all sorts of stuff. I won't have as much of a talk show set up here to do it, but also our Discord, although it is kind of barren and almost nobody goes there, it is available if you'd like to leave any messages or talk about stuff, and I'm in there all the time, but I'm alone. All right. Moving to the next object. Have you ever wanted your hand to be a centaur?
No, it never occurred to me.
Well, with this 5-piece set, your hand could be a centaur. You may ask why, and I would join you in asking the same question. You want a hand to tar? The reviews on this thing, they're all 5-star, right? Every single one of them. Perfect stocking stuffer for a teenaged boy. Your son hates you. The hit of my Christmas gift exchange. You work with terrible people. Tyler says it has to be sexual. Coco Mocho says that looks horrifying. Gamer News Party says, "Oh Jesus Christ, my mom has the pug version of that." There's a pug version of the Handatar. That's even worse. All right, so Shayna,
oh God,
this is a cookbook. It's only available on Kindle for $3. But you could get 25 placenta recipes. Angry Cicada says no.
I agree. Absolutely not.
Just the top header says, for fuck's sake, no.
If we were dying and there was nothing else to eat and it was between staying alive or death.
Right.
Like in a really bizarre futuristic scenario, maybe. Yeah. Even then I would contemplate just dying.
Coco Mojo asked if we're going to be at TwitchCon, and it's a hope for sure. What was that YouTube link? Let's see. Was it my YouTube? I mean, I my YouTube hits up here.
Hi.
I don't know. Billis Wonder says I'd eat the baby first. Squally says, and you just happened to give birth. How's it going at Zirkle? And okay, so my biggest problem with this is that you'll never make all 25 recipes. And if you do, you shouldn't.
I know, who has that much placenta just randomly lying about?
Right, exactly.
And what is wrong with them?
Exactly. You are a bad person. All right. The next object that I found on the internet. Ice Katsuna says, I got one for the camel thing. I can tell you that semen has a lot of protein in it, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to go into prostitution and ask guys to suck on their dingles for their... Yeah, that is very true. I skipped some of those words just because, you know, I'm scared of the Twitch TOS. I've been banned once for talking specifically about stuff like that. So, how to lose your job as an OBGYN. What does placenta taste like? You know, I'm I'm gonna assume blood sausage, right? Like I'm gonna
My
have to
thoughts
assume
are way worse.
Yeah, I suppose. So were you there when I showcased the old lady wall decal?
No.
So this is an Asia old man wall mural by Wall Monkey's Peel and Stick graphic.
Fucking weird.
Exactly. This is a 60-inch by 39-inch wide decal for your wall of an old man. That is available.
Why would anybody ever need this?
I don't know. And the biggest problem I have with it is it's $90. Or sorry, $80. This is an $80 wall sticker of a man. Right. I mean, it's not even like a famous person.
Oh, that's really freaking weird. People are strange.
Right. And Zerical says, if I was rich, I'd buy. Just have a whole bunch of these guys.
Because.
I suppose if you were running an experiment on your children, you could buy this and put this in their room. Right? And just never explain why. If they do stock image Herald, I'd get it, right? It's just Asian man got JPEG, right? Billboard ad maybe, but in your home, right? I mean, but you could put it on the wall. It's the highest quality semi-gloss vinyl.
Would you have it on a billboard for what?
I have
what
no
is that
idea.
Man gonna sell?
I have no idea why. This was the old lady one. Did you see this one? It's an old lady using an inhaler. It's the same like wall decal type thing.
57 customer reviews.
Yeah.
And they're pretty good reviews. What do people use this for?
I don't know.
I can't fathom.
How easy is it to get it off? Why would you want to take it off, weirdo? Why would anyone buy this to hang behind your wife's office door? Good for a solid chuckle. I don't know.
All right.
Right. For the lulz, they say, the chat says. It's got to be for pranks. Coco Mojo says, I don't want to know. I'd buy a whole bunch of them and dump them in an AC 130 across the nation. Just a bunch of old Asian guy decals for everybody. Have you ever wanted to be the biggest hipster on the entire planet? So here is the Goat Story mug with real leather, but it's a plastic mug.
That's stupid.
Yep. You can't set it down, Zerical says, right?
Like,
yeah.
Actual horn.
Right.
Material. What the fuck? Plastic? Oh, but it's got real leather.
Right. So it's both good for the environment, bad for the environment, animal friendly and not animal friendly. It's a special horn-shaped coffee mug that holds 12 ounces of your favorite coffee drink. Comes in a set of 2 straps, long and short, so carrying your coffee mug around is a blast. The holder can easily transform into a stand, which easily enables placing the mug onto a flat surface. So not only is it hard to set it down, but you have to transform an object first and build a stand for it to be able to be set down. Angry Cicada says that's not enough coffee. Yeah, who the fuck drinks 12 ounces?
I agree. Not nearly enough.
But look at that guy. He looks like a huge
and
asshole.
It gets smaller the farther down it goes. So
right. 50% friendly, 50% not friendly, 100% useless. Says it's Zerical. Atreyu. Is that the name of the? Is it Atreyu or Atreyu? Either way, welcome to the stream. I know that's Atreyu on you, but I'm trying to remember about the name of the creature from
Atreyu.
Atreyu, right? Okay.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Cleaning that would indeed be a pain. You'd have to get your fingers all way down in the bottom of the horn, right? Gamer News Party says 12 ounces of espresso. As long as it's straight 12 ounces of straight espresso, right? Espresso. I apologize to all of the language folk. All right. After this, we're going to... I wish Jason was here. I picked this just for Jason. I forgot about the fact that he said he wasn't going to be able to make it here. But this is the so Twisty.
We should get. I'm kind of glad we should get this for him as a joke gift.
All right. So Twisty.
I don't know if Twisty finds it as funny.
Yeah, exactly. This is the Goatee Men Shaving Template by Goatee Saver to, in case you were miserable at razor control, right? Looks like when you eat ice cream straight out of the pail, right? This, you put it in your mouth, right, to guard it up against your face. Squabbly says that's a shitty looking shape. But you can like dial it in to be the perfect size. Whatever size you really want it to be, right? Is that good, Shayna?
So sad I can't be here for this. I don't know why I find this so funny.
Togamojo says, "What the fuck is this for? It's to keep your. It's to make a perfect goatee."
Oh my god. Oh wow.
I will totally show Who Killed Captain Alex. I think you can show it on Twitch, right? I think it's free. I gotta find out. I love Who Killed Captain Alex. It's a super funny movie. I will show it to everybody.
Apparently, Twisty says that he actually does have a template, but it's not anything like this. That's for the back of his head.
Oh, nice.
We need to get this for him.
Right.
100%.
Holy shit, I'm gonna make a razor that can cut stuff out of your head hair like a stamp on paper. Yeah, that would be good. I really want you to bring this up again in an episode Jason's on. I'm on it. Stray further from God's light. We gotta bring on the super soldiers. Yeah, exactly. It's big action film. It's so good. All right, I got more objects too. So this is the creepiest thing I have ever seen sold on the internet. This is the Schumer Tech reverse peephole viewer. Can you imagine what that does?
Can you, like, see?
You put it on a no, if you're on the outside of someone's door and they have a peephole, you can put this on the peephole and see back through their peephole.
That's weird.
That seems like it should be illegal.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's only like $30.
That's really weird.
It provides a clear, discrete view into the room through a door's peephole. Effective on all major brands and standard door peepholes used in apartments, hotels, and residential doors. Newly updated and improved version of one of our most popular products provides a clear, discrete view into the room. Discrete view. Why would you even add that word there? Are you trying to sound as creepy as possible? It's just so funny.
Someone was disappointed.
There are a lot of people's it does not work on, apparently, right? But still,
just going.
Yeah. The fact that
doesn't work on yours.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there's no frequently asked questions. I was expecting there to be a does it work on this, does it work on that, right? It's common in law enforcement. Don't know why you use it otherwise. Well, I mean, I could see why someone would use it otherwise because of, the fact that the Amish can't call phone numbers, right? Tile Maker says you can see into someone's door. Feel like this should be illegal. Gamer News Party says good for hotels. Just walking up and down. What's this guy up to today? It's Lyrical says my greatest fear is someone looking or holding a gun up to a peephole when I look through it. Yeah, that's a legitimate fear. This doesn't enable to creepy ass habits. Fuck this shit, right? Exactly. These X-ray vision glasses didn't work. Why did you buy X-ray vision glasses? to see people naked. All right. The final item that I have here is ketchup.
Is this really what I think it is?
It's a nutritional dog gravy condiment.
The condiment for dog food for dogs.
It's only $10. You can also get barbecue, muttonaise, mustard, and ketchup.
I think mustard is my favorite. Or barbecue is pretty funny too. Oh my god. This is actually would be, if you could get all of them for a dog lover, I think this would be a great gift.
Angry Cicada says that my dog needs shit, this, but... right? But yeah, I thought this was, I was like, oh, are you serious? Like, really? I see the like reason you do it, if you're like spoiling the hell out of your dog, but this is maybe going a little bit too far in spoiling your dog. You could literally just buy a bag of gravy from the store and your dog will be just as happy. But right. Now Angry Cicada has seen it and in all caps says that our dog needs it. So I'll likely be able to show you guys ketchup on the next show. It's gluten-free, by the way. In case anybody was wondering. Guess if it's good for if the dog doesn't like his food, I guess. Right.
Which is really good for dog joints.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Prebiotics, which is for processing, digesting food.
Right. You need some dog-sized baby wipes after they eat that, right? They're just fucking leaving dog gravy trails all over. All right. We're going to be the change. Here's the segment of the show where I show you guys some terrible things I found on change.org. And by terrible, I mean real change for America. So this is our petition that we're trying to get to 100, just so we can see what the hell happens when you get a petition to 100. Because it says right there, get this petition to 100. And we don't know what that does. So if you haven't signed it and you feel like helping us out, please click that link and just sign it and maybe leave something dumb down here if you feel like it. I still have the power to blindly sign anything I want to sign, says Susan Hecker.
Oh yeah, my grandma signed it and said, yes, let's see. That's
Excellent.
So awesome. That's who Catherine is.
Excellent. All right. Our next petition is the petition to try to keep us from getting to 100 votes in case you decide, fuck Skeptalk Live and their ideas. So sign that one, and it'll totally won't let us find out what happens when we get to 100. Ha ha ha.
Maybe.
Exactly. All right. So here's the ones that I found that aren't ours. So this is a petition to cut Florida off of America.
Does that mean we couldn't do Florida Man anymore?
Well, I mean, it would just basically be Florida Island or whatever. But the reasons for this are Florida poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague onto our houses. After various incidents in the past, most people can agree that it needs to stop. As much as we all love endangering alligators, we can find a different way to do it. America wanted manifest destiny, not to undress destiny. As Americans, we already have a plethora of problems and political migraines. Adding nearly an entire state to the mix, it would be devastating. We need to end this venom of a political state. Join us together and we can bring it to an end. Make Florida a penal colony, right? It can be America's Australia. But if you decide that you want to troll your friends on social media or sign something for no reason, there's that. Send all the prisoners there and cut the prison budget to solve 100% of problems at once. Exactly. All right. Well, actually, Shane, I forgot to ask. Do you think you're going to be signing this one?
To be honest, I don't sign any of them. Except ours. I signed ours. Right. I did the first few episodes, but...
All right. So this is a petition to overturn the 1972 conviction of 4 crack commando team members. In 1972, an effort to bring the Vietnam War to an end under the orders from Colonel Morrison, a group robbed a bank of Hanoi. However, due to a double cross, Colonel Morrison was murdered and his headquarters was burnt to the ground. So no proof existed just a sec, that they were acting under orders. Because of this, they were sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade in the Los Angeles underground. Today, they are still wanted by the government and survive as soldiers of fortune. Let's help these 4 men and live the lives that they deserve as heroes and not hiding as hermits. They were last seen in 2010. Are you familiar with these guys?
The A-Team?
Maybe. This may be a petition to pardon the A-Team.
I had someone in high school say they reminded me of, I was like Mr. T, because I wore a ring on every finger.
Okay.
But they were all silver. I never quite understood. Also, I'm not I'm
Right.
not a black
dude.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Super confused. How do I remind you of?
But you still pitied the foo.
Yeah, I pitied that foo.
Exactly. All right. Our last petition that I found here is to make T-Pain the University of Wisconsin commencement speaker. Yeah. Before T-Pain, this university was nothing. He immortalized our home state in his song "I Can't Believe It," a masterpiece done to the world. So as young adults about to enter the world, we want to be inspired by those who came before us. T-Pain was only 23 when he rhymed mansion with Wisconsin. Damn it. Screw you, Shane pop-up thing. Nearly the same age as many of us when we graduate. What better figure to tell us about the ways of the world? We owe it to T-Pain to make him a commencement speaker. We will not be satisfied until we are all living in Mansons. Didn't Mr. T played well? Yep, he played a night elf. A night elf mohawk. That's not even a joke. That was the whole thing. Still got the mohawk grenade, right? Yep. All right, it's time for our main story. We've done this one before, but a couple things were brought up to me, and it still keeps happening. Do you remember the Mandela effect?
Oh, of course.
Excellent. So for those of you who haven't seen the Mandela effect before, there exists a conspiracy theory that we are living in a world that is possibly many merged universes at once. Something,
the multiverse.
Yep. Something went wrong between a few of our universes, CERN, that managed to pull a couple of these universes together, and some of us still have memories from the previous universe that we used to exist in. Will Mandela effect? Excellent. So a couple of new things were pointed out to me. Someone asked me a question in another chat, and I think it might have been Coco Mojo, possibly, who said, explain Uncle Sam's hat. So we're going to do just that. This guy right here, we all know this guy. But Shayna, what color is the rest of his hat?
Oh, I don't fucking remember. Red or blue or white, I imagine.
Right. All right, chat. Just off the top of your head, don't Google it. Just think about it, because it's much more fun if you don't Google it. What does the rest of his hat from where the picture cuts off look like? A lot of people would say something like this, right?
No, that doesn't look right.
Red and white stripes?
Right.
Correct.
Is it blue? I can't remember, but...
Gamer says red and white striped. A lot of people say red and white stripes. Blue and white stripes, says Angry Cicada.
Is it even stripes?
Willis Wonder says blue and red stripes. It's not.
It's just white,
Shit's blank, yo. Yes, Kasuna says, makes me wonder if there is really a world where probably everyone is a bunch of walking and talking animals. Very possibly. I mean, multiverse theory is crazy. That's what I thought. Red and white, right?
Multiverse theory would mean that there is a universe with every possibility. So yeah, there would be something like that.
Yep. But there would be so many countless worlds where everything's just dead. So many countless worlds where just everything sucks. Like, well, oxygen is actually fire, right? Like, that's a terrible shit.
Or where the Nazis won.
Right, all sorts of stuff. But if you go back, I mean, we'll give everybody hope here. I mean, I'm not judging nobody. Let the furry do what the furry gotta do. As long as he doesn't come up in here furring all over my shit, we're all good to go. All right. But his hat has always been white. I went and looked back at all of the historical documents about Uncle Sam today, and it's just a white fucking hat. But I specifically remember goddamn red stripes. And if you look at all of the like fan art of it, he has red stripes on his hat. But barely not. All right, here's another one. Walls everywhere. If I said, can you name the Great Walls? How many of those walls do you think you could name?
2.
Okay. Which ones do you got?
One of them went down. Well, there's the Great Wall of China, and then there was the Berlin Wall, but that one doesn't exist anymore.
Let me give you a thing here. Permit.
And there may have been others that I never learned about.
Right.
Or maybe from another universe, or from this one, or
exactly. You're from what I am referring to as the single wall, right? If somebody said the Great Wall, they never called the Berlin Wall the Great Wall, right? It was just the Berlin Wall.
No, it was the Berlin Wall, yeah.
And then there was the Great Wall. But what about... Okay, so this is the picture of the Great Wall, mostly referred to as the Ming Great Wall, built from 1368 to 1644, measuring 8,850 kilometers long. We all know about this one, and it's hard-pressed to find somebody who doesn't know about the Great Wall of China. But did you know, apparently, there is also the Great Wall of Pakistan, which is the Great Wall of Sindh. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not. This one is why would we've ever heard of it? If I guess, are we suggesting that there are also wonders of the world? So there's more than 7.
Yeah, it's 20 fucking miles long. It's huge.
Right. But I mean, do we have like an updated list of the wonders of the world that includes these?
No, these are not on the list. These are just great walls that have apparently been there, but no one cared.
Well, there's Pakistan.
Right.
It's fucking hot desert in the middle of nowhere.
There's the Great Wall of Peru, which is the walled settlement of Kulap. That is a north-south orientation. That is, it's only 584 meters long, but it's in its widest part. Its walls are 10 to 20 meters high. So this wall is fucking huge, right? Like, it's enormously tall. And some of the blocks that it's worked with weigh about 3 tons. Gamer News Party says Trump gets a boner. Blaze Black Sheep says, I'm pretty damn sure. Remember it being red striped, white topped, right? Yeah. That poster has red top, but if you look at all of the original Uncle Sam artist stuff, there's no hat. The hat is white. Twisty says the Berenstein Bears, y'all. Right, I actually myself am from the Berenstein universe. I'm pretty sure.
Me too.
Right.
I remember we had those books growing up.
Right. And then there's the Great Wall of India, often referred to as the Kumbayar's Wall.
I'm upset with school for not teaching us these things.
Exactly. This is the second.
That's not a small wall.
Right. It's 36 kilometers around the perimeter of the fort, making it the second longest continuous wall on the planet after the Great Wall of China.
All right.
It's many kilometers in length. And we never learned about this.
Because I don't have any.
It's because when CERN pulled the wall universe into our merged universe, they brought a bunch of damn walls. Gamer Party, do people not remember the bears? No, people remember Berenstain Bears being the Berenstein Bears. If you go look it up, it is the Berenstain Bears in the current trajectory of this universe's timeline. But in the universe that where Shayna and I come from, we believe it was Berenstein. Portrayal
almost broke the internet.
Right. Changed
years
with
ago.
history and the flag. Right. All right. What if I told you that this was the wrong picture? Wait, I mean, I'm going for this meme. The what if I told you meme, which is a famous line from what movie?
Well, obviously The Matrix, but
right.
He didn't say that, right?
Correct. You've guessed it. the line that everybody remembers is what if I told you it was all a lie? It's so many people remember that it's even become a meme of Morpheus saying, what if I told you, and something else, right? But he never says this in the movie. He never says, what if I told you? Those lines are not in the script.
I'm not surprised.
But how did it become a meme if it how did it become a meme if it wasn't there?
Well, because either it wasn't there or people are dumb. It could be anyone.
Exactly. Or a Mandela effect from another universe. The what if I told you universe. Gamer News Party says, I've never watched The Matrix. That's a thing, right? Coco Mojo, we've moved into some...
the first one's worth watching.
Yeah,
if you enjoy cinema and sci-fi at all.
We are currently talking about the Mandela effect. And talking about the hat on Uncle Sam and how it's white. And we were talking about the tons of walls that have appeared all over the universe, because I've never heard of any other great walls, but there's apparently a ton of them. And also that in the movie The Matrix, the what if I told you meme is not a real thing. It's Zirkle says, wait. And now I sit waiting for the rest of the statement. The next one is one of my favorites. Because it got me too. There's another one that I'm like, bullshit. April 18th, 2018 conspiracy. We'll be covering that April 18th. But actually we'll be covering it April 17th, because that is the day that we aired the thing. But we'll probably also talk about it on the 19th. But I'm totally into it, because that conspiracy is fantastic. I watched Shane Dawson's presentation on it today. Pretty good. Hold on, I'm serious about this one. Are you implying that in Lord of the Rings that Aragorn didn't say one to simply... No, not simply? Okay, that is not what we were... That was... The joke is that this is the wrong meme. This is the wrong meme. The meme is, what if I told you? And the
That's
what if
Boromir.
You're right, exactly.
Also, by the way. I've also watched The Lord of the Rings.
What did I think about it? I want to save that for the episode, but I'm highly intrigued. Anyway, the next piece of evidence that I've got here. Do you guys remember this headband on the Karate Kid?
Some maybe vaguely. Oh, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Right. When I looked into it, right, I when I saw this piece of evidence, I was like, yeah, the rising sun on his headband, right? Not necessarily a red headband, but a white headband with a rising sun on it, right? Apparently, I was completely gosh dang wrong, and it's a fucking flower lotus the whole time. Angry Cicada says, I do, right? There's none of it. This next one blew my shit out my ass, dude. Like, I was like, what? This Wonder says, yeah, Mr. Miyagi says, you gave it to him. Wait, it's fucking blue? Yeah, it's blue as shit. It's totally blue, not red. Yeah. And like that is the way that it is the entire movie. And Mr. Miyagi has a matching headband. So you guys are from the same universe, or at least your universe. Have we ever talked about the Illuminati? Not in any serious way, right? We made a very, very funny Illuminati episode, and I definitely recommend everyone to go back and hit the YouTube and take a look at the Illuminati episode, because that shit was fucking hilarious. We are the Illuminati. Cha 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 cha. The eyes are looking. All right, this next one. Can you guess what movie this is, Shayna?
Tarzan.
Yeah. And can you guess what the famous quote is from this point, right?
No.
Do you remember the line, "Me Tarzan, you Jane"?
I remember hearing that, yes, but I don't know if it was in the movie, and I don't know if I ever actually watched the original. So,
right. Well, one of a very famous piece of evidence for this right now at Gamer News Party says, "You Jane, me Tarzan." Right? Exactly. The famous movie Tarzan is misquoted with the movie with the quote, "Me Tarzan, you Jane." It's a misquote because it doesn't actually is never said in any of the Tarzan movies in anything between 1932 and 1948. Nor does the line, "Me Tarzan, you Jane," appear in any of the original books written by Edgar Rice Burroughs. Right. He points at himself and says Tarzan, and then points at her and says Jane, right? But the quote, "Me Tarzan, you Jane," is used a lot, right? By a lot of people. And that is not a thing that ever happened. And then here is the one, like, I am not a person who believes in conspiracy theories, but this is a piece of evidence that bothers me, right? So, I remember myself very, very distinctly that when I was taught about Adolf Hitler in school, that one of the big points was Adolf Hitler claimed the Germans were a superior Aryan race of white, tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed individuals. Although himself, he was of modest height, brown-eyed, and brown-haired.
Right.
Does that sound familiar at all? Right.
Oh, yes.
To me, it was part of his whole supervillain identity. The hypocritical feeling, right?
Right.
This is oh, you can't really see it too well here. I gotta he had blue eyes. Hitler has blue eyes. I remember brown eyes being a very important fact.
I don't remember that. I remember he was obsessed with blue eyes. I don't remember ever going over what his eye color was, though.
Right, but I specifically remember the fact that he was brown hair, brown eyes being completely different from blonde hair, blue eyes, which he was looking for, right? But he had blue eyes, so he was slightly less crazy hypocritical. Witless Wonder says it was taught heavily in schools that he had brown hair and brown eyes. Yeah, maybe it's hazel and looks blue or brown in different light. Well, according to the data that I saw, and at interviews with people who actually talked with Hitler, well, one of his most striking features was his prominent blue eyes. Gamer News Party says, "I'm from a different timeline." And Kokomoja says he was taught that he had blue eyes. See? That's this piece of evidence pisses me off. It's like, this is fucked up. Plays Black Sheep saying, "I remember him having blue eyes. A documentary I watched said he was born blonde and blue eyes. His hair color changed by 3 years old." Angry Cicada says, "No." Gary News Party says he def has blue, and that's what I was taught, right? I was taught brown. It's either that or there's a freaking conspiracy on teachers trying to teach people fake shit. Now, this next part will take a little bit of explanation because I'm not sure how many of you have read the Bible. I've read through the entire Bible, and I got rid of my Bible because I was like, well, I'm never going to read through this again. I couldn't go verify it specifically with the object of when I read it. But are you guys familiar with the phrase, the lion and the lamb?
Yes.
About how the lion will lie with the lamb, and it's in Isaiah 11 is where this was coming from, right?
Mm-hmm. There's a Dave Matthews Band quote.
Right.
Is that too, yeah.
Right. That's not the quote at all. It's actually the wolf. The wolf shall also dwell with the lamb. And the leopard shall lie down with the kid, and the calf and the young lion at the fatling together, and the little child shall lead them. But if you go look up lion and the lamb, there are hundreds of images of lions and the lamb. There are hundreds of things referencing the lions and the lamb as a, like a thing that you can buy, commemorative plates or whatever.
I mean, I'm not, this one doesn't surprise me so much considering the Bible was originally written in a different language and it's been reinterpreted a number of different ways.
In all translations, Isaiah always starts with the wolf.
Interesting.
Squabbly says lions and lambs are not in the same area. Candace says wolves are cooler than lions anyway. But here's another piece of evidence that I find is absolutely strange. Here is Isaiah 11:6 talking about the wolf and a picture of a lion and a lamb. When I found this evidence, this specific piece, this was posted in a Christian forum and no one was talking about Mandela effect. Why would they put a picture of a lion and a lamb instead of a wolf and a lamb?
I've no idea, because we've.
It says young lion
yeah,
later.
That's interesting, because we use the lion as like the Chronicles of Narnia, and the lion is considered sort of godly like. So I'm kind of intrigued. Maybe the interpretations were having a problem with the wolf for some goddamn reason.
Very possible, but there's also
the lion he's more marketable.
There's plenty of wolf and the lamb,
animal,
right?
So.
Yeah, but the point being that this could be a representative of a glitch in the universe where
the
part of this image has been changed, or the mind of the person who created this subconsciously remembered things from its previous universe where it was lion and lamb. And also if you go look up lion and lamb Mandela testimony, there are some amazing interviews where some people are all like, I am going to get my mother's Bible right now to show you that it is the lion and the lamb. And they're all like, it's wolf and the lamb? What the fuck? Like, lots of people remembering this. Once again, the predominant theory that this is just mass misremembering, right? But in this part of the show is where I pretend to believe 100% in any of these things, so I show you guys what's going on. But Gamer News Party, I'm a wolf in sheep's clothing, DMX. Did you hear that they're going to play his music? Damn. Dragon Daughter, thank you very much for the subscription.
It's funny that was, I did that the last show. It was just popped up for me.
Oh yeah, because it has the ability for you to give a reminder. Yeah.
That's weird that happened this time, because I clicked that the last cast and it didn't do that, but it just said share. It's been 5 months. So.
Well, excellent. Fucking love that song so much. Thank you very much, Twisty Top Hatter, for the 100
I still haven't heard
bits.
the actual song.
Staring at the wall. Steel's first now. Oh, snap. Zero Cool TV says, here's a thought. humanity never defeated robots in the Matrix. They succeeded in making the perfect system by making them think that they escaped the Matrix. Why else could Neo use his power outside the Matrix? Yeah, it's very possible. All right. Let me make sure that I didn't miss anybody else's stuff. Oh, we were at DMX thing. Okay. Squabbly says, I had wolves growing up. Willis Wonder says, plus lions have been used as a symbol with a biblical shit for a long time. Yeah, very true. I mean, lion and lamb sounds better than wolf and lamb while getting the point across. Angry Cicada says, isn't the lion a symbol for God? It's a symbol for all sorts of things. And I think that was it. Oh, he advocated peace and cured cancer. Who? Wait. I testify that Hitler was actually an alien with an antenna and green skin. Well, it's very, I mean, from your universe, it may be a good place. Blaze Black the Sheep says, my theory, simple exaggeration. With much information as we do, we now have access to, easy access to. It's easy to start mixing information, especially when it's not meaningful eventful information. Just stuff you're taking in at a rate that mankind has never seen before. I mean, that's very, very possible. Skeptalk says, fuck what that song called. It's called Shooting Stars, I think. Let me make sure. It's Bag Raiders Shooting Stars. Is that it? Yeah, it's Bag Raiders Shooting Stars.
Okay.
Yep. All right, Shayna, what'd you think of today's show?
It was good. We made it the whole time with just the two of us, which is awesome.
Yeah. And a shitty news day, too. Like,
really have to pee, but
all right. Well, at that point, I think we'll end the stream. I'm gonna go find us somebody to raid. Thank you guys very much for joining us. It was a super fun show. Coco, thank you for joining. It's Cool, thank you for joining. All of our regulars, thank you for joining. Ice, thanks for joining. Make sure that I train you. Kennedy, Twisty, Cicada, Gamer, Witless, 222. Let me see. I want to make sure that I don't miss anybody. And if I did miss somebody, I apologize. Right? But yeah, super fun show. And Trainer says, "Sorry, I was late. I was fucked by my job. It happens, right?" The New Files had a good episode on the Mandela effect. The New Files. What is the New Files? Oh, New X Files. Okay. Sweet, I'll take a look at that. But let me find us a place to go. Who's making do? Oh, and Twisty, or not Twisty, but Dragon, you may appreciate this uniquely because you know what's going on. But I found a way that I don't have to restart Discord after every time we've gotten streaming.
Nice.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Like fixing the little technical errors.
We found, or yeah, and literally it's like a one button fix. I just click a button one time and it fixes everything. I don't have to do anything. And it's been available the whole time. I just totally didn't put 2 and 2 together. But let's see who is streaming now. Let's go see if there's a talk show worth watching. There's the Savage Cast with Twitch etiquette and accountability. There is Geeking Over with Witchwood cards. Okay. Let's go take a look at the Savage or the